Hi everyone, Wayne Bible here. Welcome to The Commons, a renovation project in New York City. First, a brief look at my precedent, which was McDonald's global flagship in Chicago, designed by RBC ARC and completed in 2018. What drew me to this program was the fact that it was a renovation geared towards sustainability and modern materials. Here we can see globally recognized floor plan of a McDonald's where the dining room was basically demolished and expanded with a secondary structure that is made of structural steel, structural wood, and steel frame glazing. We can see it's very modern and very sleek. There's a third structure as well, which is a half a city block steel armature for a solar array. And the other half of the city block is densely planted parking. So we can see a little clearer the structure, the steel framework for the glazing, the steel columns supporting the table-like roof system made out of wood, the glue lam supported by beams, the CLT decking, which is protruding from the beams, and a parapet glue lam as well on top of that. And enclosed is the glazing structure, which calls back to the glue lam and the decking for support. There's also subterranean water collection and a hanging atrium also made out of steel and wood and glass. Which takes us to the Lower East Side in New York City, where the Common site sits. We all know there's not a shortage of things to do in New York City, so I focused a little bit more on New York Housing Authority, flood risk, and green spaces. As you can see, Housing Authority kind of surrounds the site, and it is centrally located for all public transit, and it's pretty accessible on foot for the Lower East Side. Um, Luckily, we're already in a green space, so we wanted to kind of build off of that. Also thinking about, the everyday folk and, maybe worst case scenario, if flooding occurs, is there a common place to go? Here is some solar diagrams, solar analysis, just briefly looking at the solstice. And here we see the existing structure is a strip style mall with 8 vendors. It's very lively, a little chaotic, but I had a little sentiment towards these guys, the pickle guys, Donut Plant, specifically Donut Plant. I thought, this is an established chain which has some interior design elements, architectural elements, and thought that maybe we could reintroduce some of these vendors into this existing space. Here we can see what will become the new loading dock, as well as the old loading dock looking to the back of the building. Kind of ratty, run down, but ultimately green. There's some trees back there I believe we could save. And here are some massings for my initial run at the renovation or expansion project. Kind of refined to this program where the market follows the 8-bay structure that existed. We take those bays and duplicate them or cut them and multiply them and have 16 vendors at these market bays. And then we're going to basically have this sun lounge, which is off of the cafe on the first floor, and community facilities in the back of the existing building, and the service core over towards the road for on-street loading. The second floor, basically the cafe would extend. Simple massings, development. I initially wanted there to be a complete glass box extension here with kind of like this run of green roof and have green roof here. But as we will see, that is not solarly optimal. Having no protection from the sun, we have a scorching zone here. And even when we put the roof on, we still have non-optimal solar function. which led me to investigate materiality and focused on low vis glazing on the floor and dynamic glazing up top, potentially dynamic glazing on the lower floor as well. Here we see a 3D diagram of the buildup or the structure, the roof. Again, we have the glue laminated structure. We have the CLT decking, sound deadening, concrete or gypcrete for the secondary floor. And that basically mimics up to the roof, the wood decking, vapor barrier, rigid insulation, and waterproofing, weatherproofing, and any aggregates up top. This would not be structurally supportive of rooftop gardening, maybe a solar array. And then the wall section is basically the reuse of the existing brick. We have our air gap, and up above we have custom alloy cladding, very sleek and seamless appearance. And then also an air gap, we have a vapor barrier, a rigid insulation, and our either wood stud wall framing or steel stud framing, and a concrete slab on grade. Section. Detailed sections, elevations. Here's a rendering of final view. We can see it's a very comfortable atmosphere. This is from the service entrance, seeing the lounge, down into the cafe, a little dark down there, in the market. This is a view a little closer into the lounge, looking out into the courtyard. Here's looking from the barista's counter, looking back. And here is the entrance to the Glass Box Bistro. All right. Thanks, guys. I hope you enjoyed.